Hi, everybody. This is by way of being an introduction to the first few numbers of my recently completed musical roundup time. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background from the story to put the songs into context. The musical takes place around the turn of the 19th to the 20th century in Abilene, Texas, at a place called the Lone Star Saloon. Now, this is not at all realistic. In fact, the play is based on an ancient Greek comedy from about 300 BCE. And many of the characters are what I am calling dance hall girls, which is a pseudonym for, what they sometimes call the oldest profession. The main character is a woman named Abilene Bell, who is the manager of the Lone Star Saloon. And the musical begins with her walking on stage to begin a musical performance, which goes like this. I'm a dance hall girl, and there's not another single thing I could be. I'm a dance hall girl, as you'll know if you believe your eyes. You can gather from a dress for success. I'm at my most successful when I'm taking off my dress. I'm no better than I should be, and you can't expect I would be. I'm a dance hall girl. I'm a dance hall girl, and I'm not prepared to offer peace and quiet. I'm a dance hall girl, and the party starts when I'm around. I know all the latest songs, the dances as well. Not only can I sing and dance, I'm good at raising, and they tell me I'm a riot. If you don't believe me, try it. I'm a dance hall girl. I'm told that people say there's time for work and play, and I am just a simple working girl who plays the day away. When ranch and work is done, they come and have some fun. They get to play, and then I make them pay. It all works out for everyone. I'm a dance hall girl, and the dances aren't the kind where you audition. I'm a dance hall girl, and I know my way around the floor, for I make a lot of use of natural skills, and Tom and Dick and Harry help me pay the monthly bills. So I've taken my position on the pathway to perdition as a dance hall girl. I understand that gentlemen will claim that they have never been to any such establishment as this. At least that's what they tell their wives. You'd think the way they lead their lives, they've never gotten so much as a kiss. Their rectitude's known far and wide. Believe me, there's another side that isn't meant for general consumption. And if they were to tell the truth about the follies of their youth, they'd be more candid if they had the gumption. These men are being hypocrites and failing to admit that it's an inborn tendency for folks to stray. But I'm convinced it doesn't hurt you if you leave the path of virtue for a detour on another way. If such as we are necessary, then there's no need to be wary of the services that we provide. And if you'd care to come and see, as long as you can pay our fee, I guarantee that you'll be satisfied. So let me be your guide. I'm a dance hall girl, so the holier than thou do not admire me. I'm a dance hall girl, at revivals I will not be found. When a customer of mine comes out of the tent As like as not, he demonstrates a failure to repent. They discover they required me, and they're back again to hire me as a dance hall girl. When I was still in school, I learned the golden rule. But though I fool around, you can't expect to take me for a fool. I also had to learn to live on what I earn, to do to men what I would have them do to me is none of my concern. I'm a dance hall girl, and my attitude is anything but snobby. I'm a dance hall girl. I am welcome into one and all. And if anybody cares to sample my wares, just send me up a little note before I hit the stairs, and I'll meet you in the lobby where I exercise my hobby as a dance hall girl. I don't deny it, a dance hall girl. Okay. After she sings her opening number, a gentleman comes in named Frank Hildreth. Frank is only 20 years old, and he's very innocent. He's certainly never been in a dance hall before, but he's here to do a favor for a friend of his who has fallen in love with a dance hall girl. And the dance hall girl is supposed to be arriving in Abilene and staying at the Lone Star Saloon. So he has a conversation with Abilene Bell, who is a friend of Fargo Bell, the dance hall girl that his friend has fallen in love with. And then after the conversation, Frank is alone on stage, and he confesses to the audience that he has very little experience with women, and that's sort of upsetting to him. So he sings this song. I long for the sunrise, I listen for the lark, I look for the sunshine that ends the dark. I wait through a dry spell and long for the rain. I'm full of longings I can't explain. I see the couples on the porches, couples who spark and spoon, sounding like the sweet murmuring of a dove. I see the couples on the porches, watching the rising moon, watching how it shines shimmeringly above. Then I hear the preacher bless the bride and groom, while I walk back and forth alone in my room. I hate the people on the porches, finding their lives so soon. I don't understand anything about love. I'm always waiting for my sweetheart, hoping I'll find the key. Haven't got a clue what on earth it could be. I'm always waiting for my sweetheart, watching each face I see, looking for a clue telling me that it's she. Standing at my window, sighing night and day. Here I am, here I am. What else can I say? I may be waiting for a sweetheart, waiting somewhere for me. I don't understand anything about love. Okay. Frank Hildreth's friend, Jim Blake, comes back from a long trip, and he's accompanied by his sidekick and the foreman of the ranch that his father owns, Slim Smith. Now, Slim Smith is in the long tradition of scheming trickster and helpers, and he is assigned the task of preparing Jim Blake's father for the news that his son has fallen in love with a dance hall girl. And Slim decides that the best thing to do is to make up all sorts of catastrophes and disasters that happen on the way home, so that by comparison, the fact that his Horace Blake's son has fallen in love with a dance hall girl is going to look relatively easy to deal with. So he makes up a lot of stuff, and here's the song he sings. It was all right until we got out of Dodge City. We was rolling along, rolling along, rolling along the prairie. We was singing a song, nothing is wrong, out of the ordinary. We had food for the trip, water to sip, all that is necessary for a journey across the wild, wild west. With the wheels going around, tracks on the ground, our locomotive going at a regular clip, letting her rip, showing that we are knowing that we soon will be there without a care, heading for home, sweet home. Then all of a sudden, the sky went dark. Flashes of lightning started coming down and striking the trees, and 2 tornadoes started coming towards us from opposite directions. Gosh, how'd you survive? Well, sir, we happened to have a copy of the St. Louis newspaper with us, and we looked up the weather report. And it turned out that all of that bad weather had been predicted by the local weatherman. And since weathermen are always wrong, it turned out that there weren't a storm after all. We was rolling along, rolling along, rolling along the prairie. We was singing a song, nothing is wrong, out of the ordinary. We had food for the trip, water to sip, all that is necessary for a journey across the wild, wild west. With the wheels going round, tracks on the ground, our locomotive going at a regular clip, letting her rip, showing that we are knowing that we soon will be there without a care, heading for home, sweet home. So did you get home safe after that? Oh, that was just the beginning. After we got out of the storm, we hit a part of the country where it hadn't rained for months. Everything was just as dry as a tinderbox. And all of a sudden, we hear all these shouts, "Fire! Fire!" And we look out into the fields, and there's a red-hot roaring wall of flame coming towards us at 50 miles an hour. And in front of it, there was a buffalo stampede. Golly, what did you do to survive that? Well, you know I'm a pretty good businessman. So I advertised a fire sale. Somebody came and bought the fire, and he took it away with him. What about the buffalo? They jumped in the air and flew away. Well, surely you heard of buffalo wings. We was rolling along, rolling along, rolling along the prairie. We was singing a song, nothing is wrong, out of the ordinary. We had food for the trip, water to sip, all that is necessary for a journey across the wild, wild west. With the wheels going around, tracks on the ground, our locomotive going at a regular clip, letting her rip, showing that we are knowing that we soon will be there without a care, heading for home, sweet home. So everything was okay from then on. Oh, there's even worse to come. We was just coming out of Kansas when there's a terrible earthquake. Just about shook the train off the tracks. And then a minute or two later, we seen this huge wave of water coming towards us. In Kansas? It was a very powerful tsunami coming all the way up from the Gulf and wreaking havoc and destruction as it went. How'd you escape from that? You know the expression, third time's the charm? Well, sir, this was the third time. And the charm worked. We was rolling along the prairie. We was singing a song, nothing's wrong, out of the ordinary. We had food for the trip, water to sip, all that is necessary for a journey across the wild, wild west. With the wheels going around, tracks on the ground, our locomotive going at a regular clip, letting her rip, showing that we are knowing that we soon will be there without a care, heading for home, sweet home. Okay. Jim Blake arrives in Abilene, and he meets up with his dance hall girl, who has also traveled all the way from Fargo. Her name also is Belle, but she calls herself Fargo Belle to differentiate herself from Abilene Belle. Various problems eventuate. And Fargo Belle is feeling kind of discouraged and down, and she wonders if there is any hope for them in their relationship. And Jim Blake sings this song to her, and this is one of those times when I particularly wish I had a voice of any serviceability. This is the big ballad of the show. I understand that birds sing by rationale, and yet a spring lends new meaning to the song. Ornithology could be wrong. I understand that sunsets are caused by fragments floating in the air. How could science dare to reveal that they aren't real? Love is real. It is as real as colors in a rainbow, or the tender breeze that blows through the petals of a rose in bloom. Love is real. It is as real as frost upon a window, when the sparks fly far and wide from the fire you build inside your room. When you're unaware, it will take you by surprise. You become a fool who would care to be wise. Love is real. How do I know? How could it not be true? When I look at you and I know that love is what I feel. Love is real. And then the girl sings, love is real. It is as real as tasting cotton candy, or a dandelion ball, just before the feathers all take wing. Love is real. It is as real as walking in a garden, with the fronds of maidenhair, and the blossoms trees will bear in spring. In a love affair, it could be so grand to share. In a love affair, it would never be rare. Love is real. How do I know? How could it not be true? When I look at you and I know that love is what I feel, love is real. The man and woman go into a duet at the end. To paraphrase Anna Russell, my duet singing is not as good as it used to be. Meanwhile, we have a subplot, as is traditional in all musicals. Frank Hildreth has a sister, Hortense Hildreth, who's a tomboy. Her parents want her to marry Jim Blake, but she's not interested at all. She does, however, meet a guy named Bear Grease the Mountain Man, who's this rough and tough guy that doesn't live anywhere near civilization, and she and he strike up a conversation. It turns out that she's a really good shot, but doesn't know how to cook, and he, unusually for a mountain man, is a very good cook, but not a very good shot. And they start talking about how it's possible that they might make a very successful couple, and this is the song they sing, beginning with Hortense and then continuing in the second verse with Bear Grease. Get this started. Ugh. Oh. If the man to whom I'm hitchin' knows his way around the kitchen and can mend my clothes with stitchin' that is strong, though he can't control a rifle, that's an unimportant trifle. Sure as shootin' that his wife'll right the wrong. For a groom, and a bride to the bride beside, should their joint responsibilities divide, so that each to their ability can meet the other's need as they're striving at the yoke side by side. If the skills of boiling water are beyond your favorite daughter, and the cookbook that you bought her she won't read, then she needs to find a hubby who knows how to keep her chubby with the magic of each culinary deed. For a groom, and the bride to the bride beside, should their joint responsibilities divide, so that each to their ability can meet the other's need as they're striving at the yoke side by side. For there's no such thing as men's work, and there's no such thing as women's. There's just the kind of work that folks do best. If you did the best you could at everything that you are good at, it's all right to let your partner do the rest. For a groom, and the bride beside, should their joint responsibilities divide, so that each to their ability can meet the other's need as the striving at the yoke side by side. Second installment to come. Thanks for watching.